I see we have Commissioner Hope online with us today.
Yes, I see that.
Yeah, I'm just sitting in. Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Can I give you a rough time like I give our chairman all the time or not?
Yeah, if you want to. Bring it on.
There you go. Okay, I have 9 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee. We'll start off with identifying ourselves, and I will start off. I am Frank Engler, and I am participating from my home in Deerfield Township, Isabella County, Michigan.
Steve Swaney, attending from my home in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Isabella County.
Okay, with that, we'll move on. With a call to the public. Is there anybody online at this time that wish to comment?
There is no one at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I think it would be best if Commissioner Hope also identified himself and where he was from. Even though he's observing today, he is a commissioner on the call. I just think that would be good for the process.
Very good. Tobin Hope, I'm attending from my home in the city of Mount Pleasant, Isabella County.
Thank you.
Okay, and as long as we got everybody here, we do have a deadline of 10 o'clock. So please, if I move it along, don't worry. I might do it sometime. So if the discussion is not relevant, I will move you along. So just because we have a big agenda. It's kind of like farming. We do nothing for a while, then we have too much stuff we can't handle. Feels like home. So first up is we'll consider approving the agreement between the Isabella County Sheriff's Office and the Village of Lake Isabella for road patrol and law enforcement services effective November 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2022, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. And I think we have Sheriff Maine. Is he on here to talk about this?
Yes.
Yep, I'm here, Commissioner.
He's
You
in the
guys just want to move it
corner.
along, I'm good.
No, not that quite that easy.
Okay, all right.
I said
Uh,
irrelevant, so.
Real quick,
conversation.
the Village of Lake Isabella for the last couple of years have wanted to do some additional law enforcement services. We've tried different things. They wanted full-time people, they wanted part-time, we bounced around. They finally come with some contractual language, basically. And it really is real decent for us because we can staff it a couple times a week, 6 to 8 hour shifts, just to have extra patrols in their areas. If we can, and it's all be a voluntarily basis, sign up for overtime for the deputies. If we get a week that we don't have anybody available, no harm, no foul, we just move on to the next week. So we only bill them for the time that we're there. There's some gas coverage in there. It's not a full shift, so I think it was like $40 or something, which should cover us for 6 to 8 hours. If we have an emergency outside of Lake Isabella that requires them to pull out, they'll leave there and respond to that emergency. We just won't bill them for that time. They're just looking for extra coverage and for speed and some other things that were going on up there. They've actually got some speed measurement things that they kind of can tell us where they're having some of their concerns and so forth. So it's really nothing out of our pocket. Provide some overtime for the guys and girls if they want it. If they don't have to sign up for it. We're going to rotate it all over the board from nights, days, week, end of the weeks, and make it available for everybody.
Okay, yeah, that's my district. It's amazing the last 10 years how much that area has grown up in Isabella, Lake Isabella. I said it's you start driving around there and there's a lot of houses, a lot of people up there. So I'm all in favor of this, and it's not going to cost the county any extra money. So I'm not sure there's any downside to it. Commissioner Swaney, you have any questions?
I'm in agreement. My observation is that I feel those roads, those 2-lane roads out there, we've had accidents and deaths. And so it's great to be able to have more coverage out there, and the community is paying for their part in it. That's it for me. So I could make a motion unless we have any more comment, Sheriff Maine, or?
Unless you have questions.
Okay. Great. I move to bring this forward to the Board of Commissioners meeting on Tuesday, the Isabella County agreement with the Village of Lake Isabella for road patrol and law enforcement services, effective November 1st, 2021 through December 31st.
Well, I will support that. Is there any more discussion or questions? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. We will move this forward to the work session. So
Thank you.
up is consider approving the independent contract agreement with Mark R. Robinson, PS, for the Isabella County Remonumentation Peers Group members contract, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. And Commissioner Swain, you're going to have to learn how to say that word. So it comes up here, but do we have Karen Jackson with us?
Yes,
Okay, there you are, Karen. Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about this?
so I'll make it very brief. Mr. Rudell appointed Mark Robinson to the peer review group, which he does have the authority to do that. He just didn't advise me that he had done that. So I now have a bill, which I can't pay because I have no authorization to pay him without a contract. So it's one of those things that I keep having. One of the issues is that we did have 2 people who were on the peer review group who passed away during COVID. The other members are all retired surveyors. Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're not. So it is very hard for him to round up, people for this peer review group. So at this time, I would like you to consider moving this forward.
Didn't we have this issue once before, or am I thinking of something else?
Yes, we did have this issue once
Okay.
before.
Okay,
We will probably
Um,
continue to have issues like this as long as Mr. Rudell's around. Right now, there really isn't anybody who's interested. We do have somebody that I have talked to. If something happens to Mr. Rudell, that he will step in and knows what Mr. Rudell has planned. So that gives me some assurance, but he's kind of a wild card.
Commissioner Swaney, I've been through this a couple times before, so if you have any questions on the whole process or
I've recognized this and heard this before, and I realize we've already set the funds for this. We're just making the contract approved in retrospect here. So I don't have any questions.
okay,
All right, I'll make a motion to bring this forward. If that's
Okay,
good.
I will support that. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote on moving this forward to the work session. All in favor signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed. We will move that forward. So moving right along, we'll go to the next item is consider approving the fiscal year 2021 coronavirus emergency supplemental funding, the CESF grant contract extension between Michigan State Police and Isabella County Prosecuting Attorney's Office through December 31st, 2022, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. And I think we have Dorothy Marshall here from the prosecutor's office. You're on mute, Dorothy.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Yep.
Yes, we are actually doing our training today for our new software. So Mr. Barbary is in with that. And so he asked me just to step in. This extension just extends that grant through the end of 2022, which is wonderful. And also gives additional funds that they had left over, whatever, then have allocated to us. So by the acceptance of the extension, it also will give us those additional funds, and that we can use. We currently have a paid intern in our office. We can use it for additional legal and or other clerical help. So we would certainly like to see that happen. It's, it helps us to stay caught up, and especially with this transition to this new software as well. So
Okay, we've seen several of these before, so I really do not have any questions on this one.
I'm glad that it's extended all the way through the year instead of doing it piece by piece here. But I don't have any questions. So I'll make a motion to move for the grant extension between Michigan State Police and Isabella County Prosecuting Attorney through December 31st, 2022.
And I will support that. Is there any more questions? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion passed. We will move that forward to the work session. And we will move on to our next agenda item. We're moving right through it. Boy, we might get it done early. I'm sure we'll end up with
Thank you,
something.
Ms. Marshall.
Yeah. Next up is consider approving the Robert J. Peterson Trust Agreement application. Instruct the Isabella County Clerk to forward the approved application to the MDA Farmland and Open Space Program. And we've had a chance to look at this. I don't think anybody's here from the clerk's office, but basically we just make sure that the paperwork is correct. We've never denied one of these on principle, so I did not see any issues with the application. 20-year application, over 80 acres, so does not need to be a cost per acre analysis on there. So I didn't see any problems with it.
Good to be. Would go ahead and move this forward to the Board of Commissioners meeting, the Robert J. Peterson Trust Agreement application.
Okay, I will support that. Is there any more discussion on this application? Seeing now, we'll proceed to vote to move this forward. The PA 116 agreement. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed and we move this forward to the work session. Okay, next up, consider approving the fiscal year 2021 Emergency Management Performance Grant EMPG grant agreement in the amount of $11,495 and authorize the board chair to sign the same. And I believe is Mark here? Mark is here.
I am here. You've seen this every year at the end of the work agreement. And this is the amount that they have determined that eligible for Isabella County, $11,495, and it helps supplements the salary and fringe benefits for the program.
Okay, like you said, we have seen it. I didn't see anything that I have any questions on. Commissioner Sweeney, do you have anything? Ed?
Just that it's a little bit less than last year. Was it also, does that mean it's a less percent of the funds that we require for this, or?
Yeah, it comes in a little bit light from last year. You're also going to see in the next motion supplemental grant that they're trying to add back to. But in the state of Michigan, one of the programs was a 3-county program, and it just broke apart. And now it's 3 separate county programs up in Charlevoix, Sheboygan, and Emmett. So the pot of money that they split to pay for all these emergency managers got a little bit tighter, and it usually does fluctuate, give or take every year.
I don't have any questions, Chairman England.
Okay, any more questions out there? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move forward to the BOC meeting on Tuesday, the fiscal year 2021 Emergency Management Performance Grant.
Okay, I will support that. Is there any more discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote on the fiscal year 2021 Emergency Management Performance Grant. All in favor signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed and we will move that forward to the work session. Okay, next up, and it looks like Mark's got the last two. Wait a minute. I forgot there's 2 pages on here. So.
I got a couple.
Wait a minute. Okay, consider approving the fiscal year 2021 emergency management, performance grant. Did I ever do that one? Which one are we on here?
EMPG, this one adds.
Yeah, American Rescue Plan Grant Agreement in the amount of $5,991 and authorize the board chair to sign the same. I got a little bit off track here. Okay, again.
You're good. This is, as Commissioner Sweeney talked about, the previous grant was down a little bit lower. As it was explained to me yesterday, this is a supplemental grant to boost back up slightly from the American Rescue Plan. So $5,991 going forward. This was
We
an
had-
unexpected one.
Yeah, have we had this one before? I don't.
This is a supplemental. You won't see this again, a one-time thing. It's only
Okay.
occurred twice in my career, so.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Commissioner Slaney.
So the money is coming from the ARP grants. Is that the total grant for the area or?
No, that's from the
what's
state. This is from the state's amount.
I mean, it's from the state, but it's towards that. Is that the ARP plan towards several counties that's coming out of then? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, all of the programs, as I understand it, got a portion of the supplemental grant.
Okay. So it's the state's ARP,
Right.
right?
It
Okay.
is not, it's not coming out of our local part of the ARP. No.
Right. I mean, there are, it's all called the ARP grant and then it's like, but there are a lot of different pots.
There's a lot of different pots. It's a good question to clarify that, Commissioner. That's always a good question to ask.
All right. I don't have any further questions, Chair.
Okay, anybody else has any questions? Okay. Seeing
All
none,
right. I'll make a motion to the supplemental grant for the emergency management performance grant from ARP plan in the amount of $5,991 to the Board of Commissioners meeting next Tuesday.
I will support that. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed and we will move that forward to the work session. So let me bring yours up here. Next one up is consider approving Motorola solution change order request in the amount not to exceed $42,000 for the 911 radio console project and authorize board chair to sign the same. So Mr. Griffith, you want to explain this one, why the changes on this? I kind of looked through it a little bit earlier.
Sure. We were struck by lightning a couple of years back, and part of the project being replaced at this point is, totaling $990,000. And as they've done a survey as part of that project and the upgrades over the multiple years of being in that building, they found that the grounding was deficient and not up to the current standard that they have. And the R56 standard, as it's been explained to me, is a standard for radio and equipment that would be involved in the 911 center. So this is something that we knew we wanted to have it checked out because, again, you're putting in almost $1 million worth of equipment. And there's more than that in our center. We want to have the highest ability to protect us against the lightning strike. And we've had lightning strikes and they're unavoidable when you have a large metal antenna up in the air. So this was planned in our budget session as well to cover the costs, and Motorola can provide us the specialist that's familiar with the standard to meet it, and also make this fall into our time frame of our project to be able to get us on the new radio system up and running as fast as possible. I think this is the best for the county to proceed with this, so I'm requesting a change order request to allow us to contract, add this to the contract in the amount of $42,000.
Okay, so I'm just pulling it up. We had a lot of stuff here. Do you have any questions, Commissioner Swaney?
Nope. It's just good to know that, I mean, that we've planned ahead for the next 3 items who were done in the budget long ago, months ago. So we're just get this approval for these 3 items and hopefully no more lightning.
Yes, absolutely.
Commissioner Griffith, since this is a common occurrence, is that insurable, or how's that work on there, since they kind of, is it too expensive to have, or?
We're insured, and they did a great job taking care of us, MMRMA. And they worked with Margaret to get the beginning of the project kicked off, and this is much needed to be able to continue our service to the public and first responders. So it's great. It's been a good project.
It's like car insurance. If they have too many accidents, the premiums go way up. So hopefully that's not the deal. Okay. Okay, any more questions? Okay. Commissioner.
I'll make a motion to move forward the approval of the Motorola Solutions change order request, the amount of $42,000 for the 911 radio console project.
I will support that. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote on the motion. All in favor, signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed, and we will move that forward to the work session. Okay, Mr. Griffith's up on the next one also. Consider approving the purchase of Equator capture engine upgrade in the amount of $96,750 for the 911 radio project. Mr. Griffith.
So as part of this new radio system, it has new technology, which is probably not necessarily new to you guys, the voice over internet protocol or VoIP type phones or capabilities. This is the one piece of equipment that we knew we were going to have to upgrade when we did get a new radio console system, mostly software and a couple of cables. And it allows us to record all the radio traffic. It also gives us a thing called metadata that helps us figure out which radio talked, when it talked, how long it talked, which can be extremely important when, you know, a large incident's going on and people are all keying up their radios trying to give us as much detail all at the same time at once. So extremely important that we have the ability to record our radio traffic. It's used in judicial cases as it goes forward. And so it's just part of our planned project. It's unique from the Equator company that goes with our current logging recorder, which again, we planned in our budget a year or two ago to upgrade the recorder to be capable of it. This is the piece that will interface the recorder with the radio system. A unique knowledge of Procom and the fact that they're also the local dealer for us with the Equator program is why we're asking to be able to move forward with this. It is $96,750. It is a one-time fee for the piece of equipment.
Yeah, I know we talked about this and it was budgeted. It's the curse of technology. As soon as you get upgraded, it's outdated already. So we got to keep going, keep everything running. So we understand we talked about this and we need to keep upgraded, because if we don't keep upgraded, it's costs twice as much to get caught up in technology. So we, like I said, we get kind of tired of these upgrades, but it's kind of the way the world works, I guess. So is there any questions, Commissioner Swaney?
I just say that in the pharmaceutical industry, we had VoIP like 25 years ago. Voice over the net. But yes, it's tough just to see, you know, how much we really need to upgrade our emergency services to, just to get to the common standard that we have in industry. And it's huge importance, that we get that metadata out to the people in the field and then have that ability to record and see that data. All right, I don't have any questions actually for this.
Okay, is there any more other questions out there for Mr. Griffith? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I move to bring forward the contract with Equiture Capture Engine upgrade for the amount of $96,750 to the Board of Commissioners meeting next Tuesday.
And I will support that. Is there more discussion that needs to be had? Seeing none, we'll move forward. All in favor signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed. Moving forward to the work session. So all our talking about time, we seem to have plenty of time. So we have one more item left here. And it's consider approving the scope of work purchase order request for the redundant firewall from NetSource One in the amount of $6,152. Again, Mr. Griffiths, you're busy today.
My final one, and we're gonna be out before 10, so I didn't cause that. I appreciate that. This is a redundant firewall. Again, we had that lightning strike. It took out multiple pieces of equipment. I've run this solution past the NetSource One. We've worked with Michelle on that. She's been a great help in trying to figure out what it is we can do and make sure we can have it happen. This will be a redundant firewall that if the first one gets taken out because of another lightning strike or something, we'll be able to go and get this particular firewall, come back and get back into business faster. Last time this happened, it impacted several of our systems, causing a couple hours of us being down. We expect with having this piece of equipment, that time frame will be cut down significantly, depending upon the disaster, of course. Approved in the budget, plan for expense, just moving forward through the process.
Now, this is a question that's probably going to be foolish since I'm not a completely tech guy, but when you get hit with a lightning strike or something and it partially takes out the system out of partially, is the system vulnerable for hacking or information being released on that? Or once everything goes down, it's down?
Ooh, now once you said hacking, I'm gonna have to turn over to Michelle. I know if the
Okay.
door is shut, you can't get through it. You know, if it burns up the piece of equipment, it's completely out. That's what happened. We lost it 100%. I don't believe that anything was partial at that.
Well, that's what I was curious if it goes 100% or they just strike out some systems, or usually when you get hit, it's
Right.
bad.
Well, and to be quite frank, Michelle and NetSource One have been amazing with being able to tell us anytime we're compromised in any way, whether it's power or actually like you're talking about with the hacking situation. We get regular update reports and scans from our NetSource One, and Michelle's well in tune with that. And if there's ever a problem, we're notified. And actually, Michelle and our team just went through a cybersecurity review that we had to turn in to be able to continue our Homeland Security funds. But I don't know if Michelle wants to answer if a firewall goes partially down, are we more vulnerable to hacking or not? I don't know the answer.
We have Michelle on here, but she is muted.
I don't know if she can.
Okay. Well, I was kind of, like I said, it was a question that I was just curious about. It's been on my mind. I know we get partial down on some of our tech stuff, different stuff with electric shorts and everything. It doesn't always take everything out, but
Right.
we'll leave it there. It's not going to affect this grant or anything. So Commissioner Swaney, do you have any questions?
Maybe we can get answers here next Tuesday, just because my question was very similar, not having a good understanding of how all this works together. how a firewall is required to get, services up and running again. I understand the importance of security, but having an exploit, it explained to me in my extreme ignorance of that technology, might be helpful.
Okay.
Yes,
I
yes.
see that Michelle is on the call. Is she, Michelle, are you
She
there?
might be away.
I will ask her to be available then. I think, and I'm not a tech person at all, so I'm not going to try to address this at all, but I would just like to calm a couple fears. If our center was to go down, we have a backup center with CMU. So I just want to, correct, Mark?
Yes.
So I just want to make it clear that, if we had a lightning, something happened, or God forbid a fire, or something that took out the entire system, the entire facility, we do have a backup, and that has been very well planned for and instituted, and people train and all the rest of it. The firewall, again, in my non-technical way of explaining it, is, when you're in a town or a city, and we'll use Mount Pleasant for an example. When you're in Mount Pleasant and you look at the buildings that are right next to each other and they're older, if there was a fire in one building, it's probably going to jump to the other building because the walls in between were not built to keep that from happening. I went through that in a community I worked in and saw a block burn down one night because of that. So I think the firewall, which you guys all know, is the technology just to keep things out of our system. It's pretty much, that's what it is. But I'm happy to have Michelle be there. I do want to comment again, what Mark did was that, this was requested, pardon me, this was requested this year in the budget. There was a lot of information provided to us in the budget preparation. And when I decided what capital things I was going to approve, these were certainly part of the package of what was requested for approval by the board, just because it would be, I think Frank made the comment, well, maybe not Frank, I don't want to speak for you, but I'll use Frank as an example. If Frank buys a brand new tractor, which if everybody knew what a brand new tractor was, you'd be shocked. But if he buys a brand new tractor with all the bells and whistles, he's probably not going to leave it outside all the time. Or he's not going to put it in a building that's not secure. It's kind of the same premise. So I will ask Michelle to be at the meeting on Tuesday so that she can answer your questions, because she's the technical expert and I'm certainly not. So.
Just for a quick comment, my favorite tractor is like the 1984 eight-wheeler with a stick shift and no electronics, because it takes me like a half hour to fix if there's any problem. There's always a minor problem. The newer tractors, it could be down for days before you get them fixed. But just, I'm a little old school, but it's just.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Okay. Okay, is there any more questions? Seeing I got a little off track, and that's because what happened, a little extra time, but I will entertain a motion.
I move to bring forward to approval at the Board of Commissioners meeting on Tuesday, a scope of work purchase order request for a redundant firewall from NetSource One in the amount of $6,152.
And I will support that. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed, and we will move forward to the work session. Okay, Mr. Griffiths, do you want to give us a quick update on how the alert system? I know we've been busy. I've been busy. Haven't really paid much attention. How's that coming along? Are we?
So we have put it in the newspaper. We've coordinated a newspaper article. We have called everybody who's currently on the Code Red system and informed them that we're switching over. We have some radio advertisement PSAs going out. on 3 different stations, informing them that the change is in progress. And it's up on our Facebook and shared with our partners at the sheriff's department, the city, and so on. So we're making a very furtive effort to try and educate the public. And I'll just put the plug in for the public. Please go to smart911.com and sign up. Or you can go to our isabellacounty.org/911 and get to the sign up page. It's free. We now have the alerts that you can choose what you want to be warned for. And if you want that via email, phone, or text, so you have much more control over the situation. And it will also keep all of the people in the database up to date with their information by checking with them on a regular period to try to keep the numbers valid. As you know, we have a lot of people in our community that come and attend college or visit for a couple years and then leave. And sometimes they don't take their numbers out of the previous system. This system's going to help us keep that down so we don't unnecessarily dial phone numbers that no longer apply to our community. So we're doing everything we can and encourage everyone to pass that on. And we have PSAs. We've also partnered with 211 and the Commission on Aging. If anybody has any trouble signing up, they are more than happy to assist a person with signing up for that program. So just help us get the word out. That's all I can ask.
Okay, thanks for the upgrade. I know it's a separate system, but the county's GIS system with the new figure out where deer accidents and fire departments. And I've actually used that a couple of times. And I know it's kind of interesting, but I know we had fire at Thanksgiving there. It was kind of interesting where maybe hopefully someone didn't burn their turkey up too bad, but it's a nice system to have. You can see the roadblocks, and it's your new upgrade systems will really be an advantage. So
Thank you.
okay. With
Also get
that, yes.
I was just gonna say, you can also get, so I saw it in the paper last week and I went and got the Smart 911 app off of the Apple Store and signed up that way. I was already on the Red service before, so.
Great.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I will make a call to the public. Is there anybody there wishing to comment?
There is no one at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, with that, I'll end the call to the public since we've been here for a while. So with that, I guess we have all our business in order, and I will adjourn this meeting. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.